Cent put out this Diddy doc, and Marlon was asked about this Diddy doc on, what is this, 92.3, okay, in LA. And they asked him, did he watch it? And he said he was diddied out. Let that, pretty much saying, yo, that man is already doing time. And he said 50 Cent got to be careful because, you know, he gonna get his karma. Something to that effect. What you got to say about that?
F you, the boat you ride on, anybody look like you got your last name and rolled on that boat with you. You feel me?
Correct.
I'm picking a side, bro. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking a side. I'm not giving no dude, you understand, that I'm against a chance to ever do anything against me again. I'm not giving him, he don't got no side, bro. You know, anybody on his side is against me.
Understood.
And I'm going on that premises for the rest of my life. If you like a that I hate you.
Diddy's son just sparked a major reaction online after making what fans are calling a reckless public threat toward 50 Cent. Christian Combs allegedly tweeted that if he ever ran into 50, he'd slap him. And that alone sent social media into chaos. But according to online chatter, that wasn't the end of it. Fans now believe multiple celebrities are moving funny ever since 50's Netflix documentary dropped. To be clear, these claims are coming from public speculation, not confirmed reports. Still, the names people are bringing up have raised eyebrows and made this feel bigger than just internet talk. This situation doesn't look like simple online beef anymore. Supporters believe 50 is catching pressure from several directions, and some of the people tied to this story appear nervous about what's already out there. In this video, we're breaking down who fans think wants 50 quiet, why the documentary has people stressed, and what they might be afraid of coming next. And here's why the tension feels real. 50's documentary about Diddy hit 21.8 million views in just 6 days. That's huge. It even passed Stranger Things on Netflix. This isn't a gossip recap either. The project includes never-before-seen footage, private phone calls, and longtime insiders finally speaking after years of silence.
So, I'm gonna make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you.
That explains why certain people seem uneasy right now. 50 has also been posting nonstop on Instagram, holding nothing back. To understand how deep this goes, you need the full picture. 50 spent 2 full years working on this documentary. The film reportedly includes footage from the days before Diddy's arrest, along with private conversations involving lawyers and former Bad Boy insiders sharing serious allegations that fans say feel dark and unsettling. The documentary doesn't hold back at all. It digs into the parties, the allegations, and even controversial claims connected to what happened to Tupac and Biggie. This isn't light content. This is heavy, uncomfortable territory. And now that millions of people have access to it, certain celebrities are clearly shaken. Online chatter says some people are scrambling behind the scenes to distance themselves from anything tied to Diddy. Fans even believe a few are trying to pull strings with powerful connections just to keep their names clean. None of this is confirmed, but the panic feels loud. Meanwhile, 50 Cent isn't retreating. He's posting receipts, naming names, and making it clear he's not intimidated. So let's talk about who fans think is trying to shut this down and why. The loudest reaction came from Diddy's son, Christian Combs. He allegedly tweeted, "On my dad, if I ever see 50 Cent, I'll slap the bleep out of him." People online couldn't believe it. And 50 didn't stay quiet. He fired back with, "Little bro, first, close your mouth." That response alone had social media rolling. Fans immediately questioned what Christian realistically thought he was going to do. This is the same guy people remember trying to fight Ray J multiple times and never landing a clean hit, according to public clips and commentary. But it didn't stop there. Christian reportedly went even further and dropped not 1 but 2 diss tracks aimed at 50. One lyric that stood out said, "50 Cent, why are you so mad? You that bad 'cause you never got a chance to go shopping with my dad?" That line had people shaking their heads. While Christian was pushing music that barely made noise, 50 was stacking millions off a #1 Netflix documentary about his father. And fans pointed out the irony. It took 50 less time to build a blockbuster documentary than it took Christian to get people to notice his songs. Let's be honest, a lot of people aren't buying the response at all. What really caught attention is that Christian even put out music using his own mother's name, and it still didn't move the needle. Fans online weren't impressed, and the documentary only added fuel by showing how long it reportedly took Diddy to put together even basic verses. That didn't help the image at all. Viewers also pointed out how sheltered this whole situation feels. These kids grew up with money, protection, and privilege. They've never had to stress about rent, bills, or clocking in for a regular job. People online say that gap shows in how casually they speak on serious situations. To a lot of viewers, it comes off as tone deaf and out of touch. And instead of calming things down, every post, song, or reaction just seems to make things worse. Fans believe each move only adds more attention to the documentary and strengthens 50's position. From the outside, it looks like they're reacting emotionally instead of thinking strategically. Now, the conversation also turned toward Diddy's twin daughters, and this is where things really escalated online. They released a message encouraging people to rise above it and not engage with the situation. That didn't sit well with many viewers, especially given the serious allegations discussed in the documentary. The backlash was intense enough that comments were eventually turned off. A lot of people felt the message minimized what alleged victims went through, even if that wasn't the intent. Emotions are high because this isn't just internet drama. Real people are involved, and the impact of these allegations is still being felt by those connected to them.
Shit put out this Diddy doc, and Marlon was asked about this Diddy doc on, 92.3, okay, in LA, and they asked him, did he watch it? And he said he was diddied out. Let that, pretty much saying, yo, that man is already doing time, and he said 50 Cent gotta be careful because, he gonna get his karma. Something to that effect. What you got to say about that?
F you, the boat you ride on, anybody look like you got your last name and rode on that boat with you. You feel me?
Correct.
I'm picking a side, bro. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking a side. I'm not giving no dude, you understand, that I'm against a chance to ever do anything against me again. I'm not giving him, he don't got no side, bro. Anybody on his side is against me.
Understood.
And I'm going on that premises for the rest of my life. If you like a that I hate you.
What really stands out to people is that Chance Combs, Diddy's only daughter, has mostly stayed quiet through all of this. Out of everyone, she's the one many viewers say showed the most restraint. Even when she spoke in support of her father during legal proceedings, she didn't make it a spectacle. There was no social media performance, no clout chasing, just a calm and measured tone that came across as mature. That's why the twins are getting so much heat online. Fans feel like they're trying to move through celebrity spaces, hitting big parties and acting like nothing serious is happening. To a lot of people, it looks like image comes first, while the pain connected to their father's actions gets brushed aside. Social media has made it clear that many don't respect that approach. Now, here's the part that shocked a lot of folks. Marlon Wayans stepped into this mess publicly and started defending Diddy during a radio appearance. He went on the cruise show in LA and said 50 Cent was wrong for dropping the documentary, claiming it was like kicking someone while they're down. Marlon went even further, talking about karma and warning that what goes around comes around. He also said Diddy needs time to sit with God instead of being criticized publicly. That response confused a lot of listeners. People were asking why he felt the need to speak up at all when nobody asked him to. And 50 didn't ignore it. He jumped straight on Instagram and posted a photo of Marlon dressed in character from White Chicks. The caption read, "Did this fool trying to get at me, LOL? No AI. That's your vibe, boy. Keep my name out your mouth." Fans took that as 50, making it clear he wasn't backing down, and that he sees certain defenders as all moving the same way. When you line up everything coming out right now, a lot of people are starting to ask if 50 might actually be onto something. But Marlon Wayans wasn't done talking. He doubled down and warned 50 about karma again, saying if things ever flip on him, he'll regret putting all this information out there. Then Marlon took it a step further on Instagram. He started throwing personal shots, clowning 50's appearance in a suit and joking about how his buttons look stretched. He even compared the outfit to mismatched holidays, clearly trying to embarrass him publicly. After that, Marlon posted an old photo of 50 and Diddy together in a pool, like it was supposed to prove something. But instead of landing the way he expected, it raised more questions. The main one being, why is Marlon this defensive? Why go this hard unless there's more to it? That's what people online keep asking. Even Charlemagne the God pointed out the double standard. He said when TMZ dropped a Diddy documentary, nobody complained. When Hulu released one, silence. When Peacock did theirs, no talk of karma at all. But now that it's 50 Cent, a black producer, suddenly people are saying he's kicking a man when he's down. That switch up didn't sit right with a lot of viewers. And then things get even stranger. You just watched 4 full episodes covering Diddy's life, his career, the parties, and the allegations, yet one major figure is completely missing from the story. Jay-Z isn't mentioned once. No photos, no clips, nothing. If you know hip-hop history, that's wild. Jay-Z and Sean Combs were side by side for years. Business, parties, industry moves, all of it. There are countless photos of them together. So the big question now is simple. Why does this documentary act like Jay-Z was never part of that world at all? Someone on TikTok summed it up perfectly. They said, "Where is Jay-Z?" They had just finished the documentary and noticed there wasn't a single photo, clip, or mention of him anywhere. No footage, no background context, nothing at all. And that question started spreading fast. Fans began asking what kind of deal 50 might have struck with Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's not a random thought either, because just months ago, social media was buzzing with renewed allegations that mentioned both Jay-Z and Diddy in the same conversations. Now suddenly, Jay-Z is completely missing from the story. The theory floating around is that 50 may have made a behind-the-scenes agreement. Some believe Jay-Z could have offered quiet support, and in return, 50 kept him entirely out of the documentary. Nothing confirmed, just speculation, but people keep saying the same thing. You can't tell Diddy's full story without mentioning Jay-Z. It doesn't add up. Jaguar Wright also pointed this out publicly. She said it stood out to her that there was no Jay-Z mention and no Stevie J mention either.
And, it seems like Diddy's just out there to take, everyone's girl, it seems like. If you got her, I want her.
Jack, let me ask you, in episode 3, we get to the Kim Porter story and, of course, introduce Cassie. What are your thoughts as far as how they portrayed Kim Porter with this Reckoning documentary?
They didn't portray her at all.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's the thing. They didn't portray her at all. She was spoken for by Kalina. That was interesting to watch. You don't think? Kalina's testimony, she was probably the most pitiful witness they brought up to speak about all of this in the entire thing. Kalina?
Wait, why you say that? She was emotional. She was...
Emotional? That's what you call it?
That's what I'm trying to call it.
Capricorn Clark was emotional. I'll give her emotional. I'm sitting there looking at someone, in my opinion, who appears to be struggling with a substance issue, trying not to fall apart on camera. Meanwhile, nobody paying attention to the fact that she's sitting there afraid to really say anything at all because she's in the middle of a custody battle and she's trying to get her kids back. And she's got to be careful of whatever she says because it could make it impossible for her to get her kids back. Did nobody pay attention to that?
Yeah, no, she said she wanted $5K from Diddy,
she wanted $5K from her former bandmate and a billionaire, and he wouldn't even give her $5K to help her get her kids back. Why not? But then again, nobody's talking about who her husband is and who her husband is to Diddy. He's one of Diddy's #1 minions.
Oh yeah, no, that's news.
He's a loyalist. He is a Diddy doo-wop-bop. Kalina's also bisexual, so I'm finding it kind of interesting that she didn't see anything, she wasn't around anything.
She's been claiming for a while that certain figures somehow got erased from the narrative, and she wants to know how that even happens. That led to a bigger question. Is Jay-Z really powerful enough to just vanish from that era of hip-hop history? What kind of influence would it take to make that happen? We may never get a straight answer, but people online agree it looks suspicious. And then there's Jennifer Lopez. Her silence right now is loud, really loud. Fans are bringing up old headlines and unresolved questions from years ago, including a high-profile club incident that's still talked about today. None of this is new information, but the fact that no one is addressing it now has people paying attention again. And according to public records, Natanya still lives with bullet fragments in her body to this day. That part often gets overlooked. What really stands out to people is the silence that followed. Fans keep asking what Jennifer Lopez ever did for Natanya afterward. No public statement, no visible support, no effort to challenge the narrative when Diddy repeatedly denied responsibility and shifted blame.
Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white boy, Oscar winner for people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot at that club. For all we know, that bullet came from the gun that was in her hand. And not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman. Not once has she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying, or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face. Like J-Lo has said, nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall? But it saved her the first time though, didn't it? Because as soon as that club was over and as soon as they finished interrogating her, when she sat there and cried like a baby, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Benny Medina put her with that drunk white boy until she ran him off. Like, there are people sitting here screaming out at the toll that the atrocities that Sean Combs has done to their lives, and you're trying to avoid your part in the story or the fact that you never spoke up. You know, you want to tell people on the low and put it out there that the movie was about you getting away from Puffy, but you didn't think about the trail of girls that you left behind. What happens to Cassie if J-Lo had said something to Diddler back then? Would Cassie have ever been a victim? Answer me that. Because that situation happened in the late 90s. That situation happened before Aaliyah passed away, and Aaliyah passed away in 2001. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009, 15 years after he was with Jennifer. If she had to come forward about the abuse that she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through. J-Lo being a stand bitch is Cassie not getting punted in a fucking hallway.
After that chapter closed, J-Lo moved on with her life. She rebuilt her image, stepped into new relationships, and eventually married Ben Affleck. To a lot of people watching now, it feels like that era was quietly buried instead of addressed. What really bothers viewers is the bigger picture. Some believe that if J-Lo had spoken openly in the late 90s about what she witnessed, later situations might have unfolded differently. People online even connect that silence to what Cassie Ventura later went through, saying accountability earlier could have changed outcomes. That's speculation, but it's a conversation gaining momentum. Now, on the legal side, Diddy's team didn't just sit back once the documentary dropped. As soon as it went live on Netflix, his lawyers moved fast. They sent cease and desist letters labeling the documentary a shameful hit piece. They claimed the project used footage that wasn't authorized for release and accused both Netflix and 50 Cent of violating privacy laws. Lawsuits and major financial threats were immediately floated. But here's the twist that surprised a lot of people. Reports say the footage in question came from a videographer Diddy himself hired. According to insiders, he had someone documenting his life in the days leading up to his arrest. The belief is that he expected to clear his name and release his own version of events. Instead, that footage ended up in 50 Cent's hands, and now it's streaming on Netflix for more than 21.8 million people to see. People online are calling it poetic justice. Fans say Diddy essentially filmed his own collapse, and now the world is watching. What really has viewers talking is what's in those recordings. The documentary suggests that once private conversations were recorded and later circulated, they became fair game for scrutiny. Whether shared, sold, or leaked, those clips are now public, and Netflix reportedly paid a serious amount to secure them. In the audio featured in the documentary, you hear Sean Combs speaking with legal counsel, stressing about losing the media narrative. He sounds focused on public perception, headlines, and optics. To many viewers, that stood out. The clips don't center on accountability. They center on image control. That's why people say it feels damning. The documentary frames these moments as revealing priorities, and fans believe it shows more concern for reputation than for those affected by the allegations. That's what made the footage hit so hard. Now, another old clip is circulating again, and it's making people uncomfortable. A past appearance featuring Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy has resurfaced, filled with jokes that feel very different in today's context. Since the documentary dropped, Ellen has kept a low profile, and people online are asking why. They're questioning what she might have seen or known about Diddy's party scene. Fans are also side-eyeing Kevin Hart. A resurfaced video shows him partying at Diddy's events, and 50 shared it on Instagram with a caption suggesting Kevin looks uneasy about what else the documentary might expose. There's a clip making the rounds where Mark Wahlberg cracks a joke about Diddy, and you can instantly see Kevin Hart tense up. His whole energy shifts. Fans say his face looks like he's thinking, what's about to come out next? Right after that moment, Kevin starts asking for edits. He's pushing to cut certain parts, saying some things shouldn't make it into the final version. that reaction didn't go unnoticed. Online, people keep saying the same thing. If there's nothing to hide, why the panic? That question alone has kept this clip circulating nonstop. Then there's Russell Simmons. He's been posting vague messages from Bali about people trying to tear down black icons. The internet didn't miss the subtext. Many believe he's talking directly about this documentary and the wider fallout around it. What raised more eyebrows is where Russell is currently living. He's been based in Bali for years now, and people online point out that Indonesia doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States. That fact alone has fueled speculation about why he chose to stay there. Former bad boy bodyguard Gene Deal added more fuel to the fire. He publicly claimed that Diddy learned harmful industry behavior from older power players, including Russell Simmons and Clive Davis. According to Gene, those figures helped normalize a culture where powerful men believed they were untouchable. Russell Simmons has faced allegations from multiple women over the years. These claims have been widely reported and remain serious and unresolved in the public eye. An HBO documentary was once planned to explore these accusations, but Oprah Winfrey later stepped away from the project after public pressure. The film eventually released under the title On the Record, giving women space to share their experiences. Shortly after those allegations became public, Russell relocated to Bali, where he has remained ever since. And that timing is something people still haven't stopped questioning. Stevie J has been one of Diddy's loudest defenders throughout this entire situation. During one of the Miami searches, Stevie was reportedly inside Diddy's home. Afterward, he came out saying all the accusations were fake and insisted Diddy never broke any laws. But Stevie didn't stop there. He turned his attention straight to 50 Cent, accusing him of betraying his own community by producing the documentary. He even challenged 50 publicly, saying, "I'm calling you out, Curtis. What you want to do?" That move caught a lot of people off guard. 50's response, though, was classic. He posted online, "Diddy's boyfriend called me a sellout. He's correct. I'm selling out Branson Cognac." That one line had social media laughing instantly. Things escalated again when Stevie J's name appeared in headlines tied to a lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones. 50 reposted the headline with the caption, "Whoa, say it ain't so Stevie J." From there, Stevie kept pushing, suggesting they settle things on television and telling 50 not to duck him. 50 brushed it off, joking that Stevie wouldn't even make it past security. At that point, the whole exchange started looking more like entertainment than a serious threat. Then, out of nowhere, Floyd Mayweather inserted himself into the conversation during an interview. Without being asked, he said he wouldn't speak badly about Sean Combs, adding that mistakes happen. What shocked people most was when he made a hypothetical comment involving his own family, which many viewers felt was unnecessary and poorly thought out. 50 responded immediately, posting, "They didn't even ask him about this. Champ, get out your head." Then he took things full troll mode. He joked about Floyd's reading struggles and offered a large charity donation if Floyd could read a full page from Harry Potter. When Floyd accepted, 50 switched it to Cat in the Hat, saying it might be easier. Ray J has been giving some of the most confusing interviews out of anyone trying to defend Sean Combs. He keeps calling Diddy his mentor and close friend, saying everything should be dismissed because it was consensual between adults. That statement alone made a lot of people uncomfortable. Then Ray claimed he doesn't even understand what people mean when they talk about so-called freak-off parties. He laughed it off, asking, "What does that even mean?" Like none of this makes sense to him. He even started joking about baby oil, questioning why people are laughing about it and what message that sends. To viewers, it felt disconnected and strange. 50 Cent didn't hide his reaction. He posted, "What the fuck is Ray J doing? Dude really losing it out here." And Ray didn't stop there. He went off into rambling metaphors that left people confused about what point he was even trying to make. 50 responded again saying, "Now I see why they was going to pack Ray J out. He wildin'. I'm gonna hit Ray and tell him chill." The whole exchange felt chaotic, and fans started wondering why Ray was defending Diddy so aggressively in the first place. Meanwhile, Rick Ross has stayed completely silent, just like Jay-Z. But 50 wasn't letting that slide. He resurfaced lyrics from a 2013 Rick Ross song that previously caused backlash and cost Ross a major brand deal. 50 posted an old photo of Ross and Diddy together with the caption, "At some point, you gotta do the right thing." None of this was new information, but fans say 50's reminding everyone that Ross has been tied to Diddy's world for a long time, and that silence doesn't go unnoticed. And that silence right now is speaking louder than any interview ever could. When you step back and look at the full picture, the pattern is impossible to ignore. You've got Christian Combs publicly threatening 50 Cent. The Combs twins telling people to rise above it. Marlon Wayans jumping into a full-on beef just to defend Diddy. Then there's Jay-Z, completely missing from the documentary like he was never part of that era. Jennifer Lopez staying silent about the club incident. Diddy's lawyers trying to shut Netflix down. Ellen DeGeneres keeping her head low. Kevin Hart looking uneasy. Russell Simmons posting from Bali. Stevie J calling for a fight. Floyd Mayweather saying things nobody asked him about. Ray J doing interview after interview. And Rick Ross saying absolutely nothing at all. Put it together and it's clear. Anyone defending Diddy or hiding in silence is getting dragged into the light by 50. And whether people like it or not, that's exactly why this documentary hits such a nerve. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think is the most desperate to stop this documentary? Do you believe Jay-Z made a deal to stay out of it? Why is Marlon Wayans going so hard? And what do you think happens next for 50 after all this pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you made it this far, hit like, share this video, and subscribe to BuzzScope so you don't miss what's coming next. This story isn't done yet. See you in the next one.